Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So I am absolutely disgusted by the news today, man. The Lakers and Russell Westbrook have a mutual interest in finding Westbrook a new home in the summer, per Jake Fisher, which I'm sure we all knew at some point. Like, some things simply don't need to be said, but I am like so just like, I don't know, man. It just seems like this day and age of basketball, I don't mean to sound like an old head. I'm just looking at the product in front of us. And straight up, man, it just seems like there's so many players that are giving up so soon on their teams. So soon. Like, it seems like if you go to a new situation and it doesn't work out instantly, then you're just... I'm absolutely just like... I don't know, man. I'm in a situation here where say less. Say less, man. Like... We all see the Los Angeles Lakers situation, folding out before our very eyes. We all know that from a, super team standpoint, this is right up there with the Steve Nash, Dwight Howard, Los Angeles Lakers, about 10 years ago now, right, man? The season's not over with yet. And yes, the Lakers are playing atrocious. I don't, this right here... like they're just like talking and saying they want like from both sides. I'm not just saying this is just all on Russell Westbrook. From both sides though, man, like giving up on the season completely like this is just ridiculous. I mean, I'm sure Russell Westbrook's gonna go out there and play hard and everything, no doubt about it. But it's just like why like this right here to me just is like throwing like the white flag. Like it's giving up before the season's over with, and I just don't get that mindset. Like why not have this conversation? Why not do this after the season? Or if you feel that strongly about it before the NBA trade deadline, which wasn't too long ago, even if the market's not out there for Russell Westbrook, which could be the issue, man. Maybe it's plain simple, teams want to wait till the offseason to trade for Russell Westbrook, so the options weren't there, fine. But like saying this at this point in the season is just stupid. It's just so stupid for so many reasons, man. So yes, before we get more into this video, if you are still watching, if you are new to the channel, if you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, man, trying to grow the channel every single day. And, man, if you are, watching this video, you're part of the Crispy crew, hit that like button, would be greatly appreciated. I want to explain something about Russell Westbrook, okay? So I was looking at his numbers before I started recording this video. 18 points, little lower than his career average. Assists, little lower than his career average, but right about there, for the assists at about 9 per game, 8, 9 per game. Rebounds, about his career average. Field goal percentage, about his career average. 3-point shot this season, a little below his average, on a team that he really needed to be good at shooting threes, or at least better at it. So what exactly is the issue? The issue with Russell Westbrook on the Los Angeles Lakers isn't necessarily his numbers. Now, if you're a believer that going way back to his OKC Thunder days, like any of those seasons, if you're a believer that he simply was a stat pattern, then this probably isn't going to change your opinion on that whatsoever. But assuming you think Russell Westbrook's always just been a good, solid NBA player, and you see these numbers, you're like, why, he's putting up roughly the same numbers as some of his good seasons, maybe down a little bit, but still the numbers are there, very similar to maybe like a DeJounte Murray. You're like, why are they not winning games? The issue is not about what Russell Westbrook does with the ball in his hands. The issue is that Russell Westbrook has no idea how to be a role player or a third option or just simply not the guy on the team. It just can't, man. The only reason that Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant ever worked out early on in the OKC Thunder days was because at least Kevin Durant knew how to play off ball. To the point it was like, okay, when Russell Westbrook was taking over, it's like, okay, KD still knew how to be effective. And then it got to the point where Kevin Durant's like, okay, like, I remember those days ago, it was yesterday, man. Like, I just remember Kevin Durant just always kind of like being very passive to Russell Westbrook. Now he's on this Lakers team, and like, LeBron can catch and shoot and make a three and stuff like that, but it's never been like the focus of his game. I mean, Anthony Davis has been atrocious shooting this season, but it's never been like the focus of his game either. So those are guys that need the basketball in their hands. They just do. That's how it works. So when the ball's in LeBron's hands, Russell Westbrook is just sitting there looking stupid, man. I was seeing this from the first game on the season, like seeing Russell Westbrook just kind of sitting on the three-point line, not really moving. The dude needs to embrace his athleticism, okay? Like, my prime example that I keep on going back to in this case is like, when Aaron Gordon left the Magic to go play for the Denver Nuggets and play off Jokic, it's like it worked because Aaron Gordon learned to not have the ball in his hands and move without the basketball. like with LeBron's passing and just Anthony Davis when healthy, with his court presence, like that's gonna leave lanes wide open. And I mean, I just don't get it, man. It's like Russell needs to cut to the basket, get the contact. Although his free throw shooting is not all that great. And I don't know, man. It's bad. So I want to go over here and hop over to NBA 2K22. I want to see if we can find a trade, man. Let me know in the comment section below. If you have a Russell Westbrook trade, give it to me in the comment section below. I don't even know what the trade would even look like, man. Currently a 79 overall player in 2K, which I will say I think Westbrook's numbers are better than a 79 overall in 2K, but, I think a 79 is like decent role player. So, I mean, I imagine at this point that's how Russell Westbrook's going to be like viewed in any trade scenario. He's not going to be, treated like an all-star player you're trading for. He's going to be treated like, okay, this is the guy that we're going to add to the team. But even with that, it's like he's been proven not to know how to play that type of role. So I don't really see what the market is for Russell at this point, man. But yeah, so contract-wise, we all know that he's got 1 year after this season. He's going to accept that player option. He's never going to sniff $47 million again. So he's going to take that, no doubt, and I don't blame him for that. I still think it's going to be a case. I still think the trade that could happen would be Russell Westbrook, and I think a 2027 first-round pick, or maybe even THT, one of those two guys, or one of those two assets, for John Wall and maybe Eric Gordon. I still think that's the best possible trade that could happen, the most realistic one. And then Westbrook could either play with the Houston Rockets, which is fine. Kevin Porter has been fine and stuff like that, but I don't know if he's like a long-term point guard. Not that Russell Westbrook is either from a rebuild standpoint. Or he can get bought out in that case too, but you're just kind of like, well, why don't they just buy out John Wall? Well, in this case, you are getting an asset back, in the buyout scenario if Russell Westbrook gets bought out too. So, yeah, let's go to the trade finder. I want to see what 2K is saying these days in a Russell Westbrook trade. See if any of these actually make sense here, man. So we do have 10 trade offers. First one being Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez. Would never happen. Here we got Russell and Carmelo for Charis, Levert, and Kevin Love. So Kevin Love's been amazing this season for the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think Russell would be interesting if he knew how to play like that Ricky Rubio role that Ricky was playing for the Cavs early on in the season. My prediction is that Ricky Rubio ends up signing with Cleveland after the offseason here. I just think that's probably going to happen. So yeah, it doesn't really make sense from that standpoint. But yeah, I'm sure LeBron would love, no pun intended, to have Kevin Love right now. And Charis LeVert, heck yeah. We got the Charlotte Hornets. Once again, if Russell Westbrook took on a six-man role, because the Charlotte Hornets, who did just sign Isaiah Thomas, from the Boston Celtic days, so it's like they could use a backup guard, but I could see them getting that like in the offseason anyway, and doesn't have to be Russell Westbrook or a $44 million player. Here we got a trade with the Knicks. So this one here is actually kind of interesting, especially if Carmelo Anthony went over there, although he is on a 1 year deal, so he would just be free to go wherever he wants anyway. But this would be decent from the mindset of like, Julius Randle back on the Lakers. I'm kind of there for it. I feel like him and Anthony Davis definitely works. Evan Fournier is a guy that can give you like 15 points per game and knows how to play as a role player. And then for Russell Westbrook going over to the Knicks, well, that is a guy that, trying to make the best of a bad situation. I mainly like it for opening up the opportunity for Obi Toppin to play more, if I'm being 100% honest. And Melo back on the Knicks for him to retire to be kind of cool, man. And one season of Russell Westbrook, to try something else, I guess. Maybe you do it for that reason. Plus, you also get out of Fournier's long-term contract. So, okay, that's kind of a glass half full way to look at it. Here we have a trade with the Magic. Jonathan Isaac, Gary Harris there. Got too many guards on that team as is. Dallas Mavericks, Dinwiddie, and Tim Hardaway. I don't think Russell and Luke would be a good fit. I would not go that route if I was, Mark Cuban and the Dallas Mavericks. Indiana Pacers here. Having Tyrese Halliburton, you really don't want him playing with Russell Westbrook and taking the ball out of his hands. Jeremy Grant and Kelly Olynyk. Depending on who the Pistons draft, Killian Hayes been playing a bit better, so I've kind of been liking him a bit more. But, for like a season of Russell play with Cade Cunningham, I could be intrigued by it, assuming that the Pistons do draft like Paolo Banchero or something like that, and then Jeremy Grant's, replacing the lineup. I could see that maybe, man, but probably not. And then we got John Wall, Deshaun Tate. This is pretty good right here, man. So the Lakers, obviously getting John Wall, but Deshaun Tate's also just like a nice veteran. I don't want to say, no, not veteran player. What's the word I'm looking for, man? It's not veteran. I saw the age 25, I was like veteran, but no, he was just like all rookie first like last year. So I don't know, man, just like an old head young player, I guess is the best way I can put it. Like, he knows how to play the game. He's a mature basketball player. He's not been in the league for that long, I guess is what I'm trying to get at. So, I mean, that's something, man. Like, it's something new at least. Like, John Wall could be a catch-and-shoot player at least for this Lakers team, but I know he hasn't really played in a while. And then we got to trade with the OKC Thunder, and I think for this to happen, the Lakers would need to toss in a draft pick and probably THT. And yeah, Russell goes back to his old team right there, where once again he would need to be a six-man because I'm not benching Shea or Giddey for Russell Westbrook. I'm just not doing it. I guess in theory, maybe you could do a small ball lineup, but I'm not all for it. But you have to toss some more assets if you're the Lakers, which they don't really have a lot of. And then he would just play out of his final season with the OKC Thunder and go somewhere after that, man. So those are some trades right there. Do you like any of these? Let me know in the comment section below. I still think John Wall will be a Laker by next NBA season. I just think that's the best case scenario, the one that makes the most sense to me. But that's all we have. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope things get better though, man. Just because, like, he's Russell Westbrook, man. And I know he's got a lot of fans out there. And I don't mean to come off as a hater because I do not hate Russell Westbrook at all. I think sometimes it's just like you got to be a realist in an unrealistic circumstance. And that's kind of what we're seeing, man.